fear is natural,
Yeah.
but it's about like recognizing, okay, this is scary, but let's just take a moment,
Just go for it.
and just do it.
Yeah.
Hey rockers, welcome to Mama-Ology Psychology, where you get to peer into the minds of the owners of Mama-Ology Burgers. We're bringing you into our world, where we talk all things business, lifestyle, and our psychology.
Hi guys, welcome to Mama-Ology Psychology podcast, and I am one of your hosts, Samantha, and this is Natalie, in case you don't know us. Today we're in this beautiful space called Village Creatives in Lavington, and they just do fantastic things here. It's like a hub for lots of different creatives. There's studios here, and lots of different people from different creative aspects. So we've got people, doing digital creative content. We've got makeup artists, lots of different types of people. And it's just the place has so much beautiful energy. It's amazing. So we felt like this was a great space for us to talk about what we love the most, business. So we actually put a question out there to the public out there, and we wanted to know if there was any words of advice you wanted from us if you were starting your own business. So we've got a number of questions, and we're just going to kind of thrash through them.
We're going to do some quick fire answers. We're going to answer the best way we can, the best way we know how.
Yeah, just trying to get as many responses to you as possible to help you out with your businesses out there, ones that you're thinking of starting. So let's get started. Right.
Should we say people's names?
Yeah, go on then. I'm sure they won't mind.
I really need glasses, and I'm really bad with pronunciation, so forgive me. There's a question from Lisa Soraya.
Yeah,
I think we know her. We know Lisa. Okay.
She works for us.
All right. So she wants to know. Well, the question is: some of the marketing strategies to help bring customers to buy your product.
Okay.
So I'm assuming, what marketing strategies can you use when you're starting a business so that people can really kind of identify with your brand and they know about it?
Yeah. I think it's really important, firstly, to know your customer, know who you're selling to, because you need to create the marketing strategy around, who to target. That's the first starting point should be, who is your customer? So, for example, if your customer's kids, obviously, then you would tailor your marketing towards children. So you really need to know as much as possible about the people that you're marketing to.
That means doing a bit of homework, like understanding. How do you understand your customer?
Yeah.
By engaging with them, talking to them, finding out what they like, what they don't like. Because let's be honest, if somebody talks about something you're not interested in, you don't even realize, you don't acknowledge it.
Exactly, because you need to be talking to that client group. So you need to know as much as possible about them, what they like to do, what they like to eat, what do they like to read, where do they go, what their habits are, basically.
So it's essentially learning their language and speaking that language back to them.
Yeah. And that can be done through surveys. If these people fall within your friendship groups, just asking people questions through questionnaires.
But when we first started, we were lucky because we had the truck, so we're able to move around and engage with our potential customers and speak to them. And I suppose it's a lot of that engagement with customers on the truck that we began over time to learn who they were. It's not something that we knew overnight. To be honest, we just came with the product, dumped it, and then we're like, okay, who's our customer? And then we learn over time.
True.
It's probably not the best approach, but
but there was a bit of research beforehand. I remember just trying to find out, you have the different types of marketing groups, segments. So for example, I've forgotten all of them, but say for example, you're marketing towards, upper middle class people. If you go online, there's a lot of research that's been done that will tell you what their tastes are, what the taste of that particular group is. So that can be quite helpful as well.
Yeah, but it's also very generic. I feel like the best way I feel is by actually interacting, because a lot of things are grounded in theory, and theory is a good starting point, but it's not the entire picture.
Yeah. So we actually went out and explored different venues around Nairobi, different restaurants, and looked with our eyes. We looked at, places with similar customer groups that we were planning to target. We would just kind of see what people were ordering with our eyes. And yeah, would maybe sit in a place and just see what things were coming to their table. There's a lot of that kind of research there.
If you can define it, what was our strategy? What was the strategy? Was there one? Did we approach it strategically, or is it something
I believe that was part of the strategy.
Yeah.
We started with a business plan, and the business plan, one of the elements was to do that kind of ground research.
So sort of research.
Yeah. So yeah, taking it a step back, I would do a business plan, and as part of that business plan, you need to have in mind what your strategy will be for marketing. So yeah,
I'm trying to find another. Oh, okay. So someone said, it's Hilla asked, what strategies do you put in place when starting a business away from you? That is kind of tricky because we were very much involved in our business. We were always there at the beginning. I think you have to understand your business. Other people do it, but I don't understand how they make it work where they are completely removed from their business. I think that's when people start to take advantage of that gap in knowledge when you don't understand your own business.
You definitely need to understand your business. But I've always thought that you need to create a business that can sustain itself without you being there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're creating slavery for yourself.
Yeah.
You're creating a business that you have to be tied to, and watching over people at all times. For me, that's not a lifestyle that I want to live.
No, but I feel that's further down the line.
Yeah.
But we're talking about starting. So at the very beginning,
Yeah.
I think it's important at its inception for you to be there. I'm not saying be chained
definitely
to it all
at the
way.
beginning, especially to understand how things are going to work and what systems you can put into place to the systems that you put into place have to be transparent. So basically, you need to have a system for, okay, if you're making so many sales in a day, how can you track the stock to know that at the beginning of the day I started with 10 packets of fries, and at the end of the day I've sold 5 packets, therefore there should be 5 left. So there needs to be a system to track the number of the stock that you have and the sales. So you need to have practical systems to be able to record these things.
And we're not saying buy an expensive, program. I think when you're starting, you just need to have a system. It could be pen and paper, it could be an Excel spreadsheet. As long as you have a process for, building in accountabilities, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, another question was, I'm thinking of opening, this is from Leo Willie X. Interesting name. I'm thinking of opening a restaurant. How do you make it successful? I think my personal opinion is, don't try and be like everybody else. Stand out. Know what your unique selling point is and go hard with that. And don't try and be the next KFC or Java. Like, just do you and do you unashamedly.
Do it well.
And make sure the food is quality. And that's what I think. Don't
I think
try
you've
and
answered everything.
Yeah. Sorry, is there anything else you wanted to add
No,
to that?
that's it.
Really?
Well,
come on. There's more to a successful restaurant than
a successful restaurant for me, is about quality.
Yeah.
Creating a brand, creating something that people actually want. Branding definitely helps. So it's more than just about the food. It's also about the messaging. What do you want your brand to say? Do you want it to make people feel good? Then create a plan for doing that. How do you want people to feel? You just think about it.
Or if you want to make greasy cheap food, be the best greasy cheap food vendor there is. Just go hard on whatever your concept is. And
so know
don't
yourself,
try and
know your brand.
Yeah, exactly.
And put it out there.
Exactly.
And make sure people understand. The messages have to be quite clear. Make people so people understand what you stand for. Yeah.
Do you want to read out the next one?
By Tesh MF.
No, I went to this.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, how do I avoid food waste at the end of the day in a fast food restaurant? It's a good question, I suppose. avoiding food waste, the way we do it, I mean, at the beginning, it's something that you have to refine over time. At the beginning, when we first opened, we had no clue as to the numbers. So the number of people who were going to buy our food. So we would have to kind of do quite kind of guesswork as to how much food we were going to buy in. And then over time, you start to see patterns. Like on the weekend, there's more sales than during the week. You start recognizing, different patterns in the year, different from month to month. At the beginning of the month and the end of the month, there are differences.
Yeah, it's never random. There's always a pattern.
There's always
of some
patterns.
sort.
But it's not something that we've even now got 100% correct. But you just have to do. Firstly, you start off with guesswork, and then you refine that guesswork over time, and then it becomes more of a scientific thing.
Yeah.
And then, you just have to recognize these patterns and try to base your orders based on the numbers, the actual numbers in the past.
Don't make the mistake of having 100 items on your menu. I think it makes more sense to have a few items that you do really well.
Yeah.
And then it helps reduce waste as well, because then you have fewer ingredients that could potentially become waste, and you can clear it much faster.
It also helps, say you have several items on your menu, but that menu shares ingredients, so each item on the menu have common ingredients with other items. And so even if you have lots of sales of one item, you've still got stock that won't go to waste. It can be used for other things.
Like if you have red peppers, then you're using it in the spaghetti sauce, you're using it in the burger, you're using it in the salad. So you're multitasking with that one ingredient.
Yeah. Of course, we get waste now and again from people burning items.
It happens.
You can't eradicate it 100%.
You can't have zero waste.
Yeah.
If you have zero waste, tell me. I need to know. I have no idea.
Next one. What are the pros and cons of running a big restaurant in Nairobi?
Well, thanks, Judy. Thanks, Judy, for saying that it's a big restaurant.
Very flattered.
Well, we're not there yet.
We don't feel like we're a big restaurant yet. But pros and cons, I think things were much easier, weren't they, when we had one branch that we could oversee? So I think the question is more about having multiple branches. It got more difficult as we expanded. Just more things to manage.
Monitoring, and then you have to invest in systems to make sure everything flows. And then you have to manage people, not just your business or the product. It's the people part.
And you can no longer do that yourself.
You can't do it by yourself.
One-on-one.
It's impossible.
Then you have to hire teams. You have to hire management to manage the staff, and they have to embody the values that you want to put, that you would like your staff to have. So that's...
And keeping things consistent. Like keeping the quality of things consistent, that's also a challenge. And then sometimes the supplier might say, oh, we've run out of this cheese for 10 weeks. And then what do you do? So it's about having the right people to support your growth in your business, because like we were saying, you can't do it alone. You need to have a strong team. And making tough decisions is also an issue when you become a bigger restaurant. Like if something's not working, I'm not saying fire people, I'm saying give people opportunities and chances, but you need to stop thinking like a one shop unit and start kind of, how can I say it, making tough decisions and letting people go if it's not working. And just having professional ways of working with people.
And you're talking about the stock things, sometimes suppliers not having things, having backup suppliers, having people, if you can't get something from a particular place, having a second and third supplier on your list as well. But some of the pros, we just talked about the cons. Some of the pros, I suppose, having multiple branches, you benefit more from economies of scale. That's the idea anyway.
That's the idea.
In reality, it might be a bit different. But you basically, the more you buy, the cheaper you're able. The bigger discounts you're able to get off what you buy. So that's kind of helpful in some cases.
Any other benefits of being a bigger restaurant?
I suppose once you've had one establishment and then another, you're more known. It's easier. So things get easier. Marketing gets easier. So you reach people more easily. You don't have to market as hard as you did originally. Because people already know you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next question from Diana Beatrice is, How to source for capital when fresh out of campus? Diana, that's a tough one.
Tough one, but a good one, because I'm
Yeah,
sure a lot
everyone
of
has the same
people.
question.
The number one question for a lot of people when they're starting a business from scratch is, where do I get the money from? And that's something we had to think about that as well.
My cow Tim asked the same question. I have no capital at all.
Mm.
How do I get capital and start my business?
Yeah, I mean, all right, from what we did, from our experience, we had no idea where we were going to get money from. But luckily we had our father and mother made a donation to us to help us start the business. But that was only after lots of convincing.
A year worth of begging.
Yeah, a year worth of begging. Yeah, and when they saw that other people were invested in our idea, when other people showed that they felt it was a good idea, that's when they kind of really felt that they could invest in us.
But after speaking to other business owners, I mean, I rarely know of anyone. I don't move in those circles who just got money from somewhere, and it's normally friends and family who lend some money here and there if they believe in your idea, and you always start small. Now I think it's when we see the story of Facebooks and things like that, those, I don't know how common they are, but I don't think investors are going to really invest from the get-go unless you've got something really novel like M-Pesa,
So you just need to start small.
Just have to start small and then scale. Then as you scale and as you keep on going, then people will come to you. And then banks also believe in your idea once you've proven the concept that it's actually a viable business.
And the concept always starts with a plan.
Yeah.
I can't preach this more than anything. Start with a business plan. Just go onto Google. Google is amazing for information about how to do a business plan. You don't need to go and get books or go to the get any other information. Go to Google. It will tell you how to put together a business plan. It will really make you think about every angle of your business and be able to prove in theory whether something is a viable business or not. Only then will you be able to approach somebody to invest in your business. Whether that be a family member.
Yeah, and do so confidently, because there are a couple of startup events that we went to and we had people do pitches and speak on stage, and it might be the best idea ever, but the way they communicate it, it's so unconvincing.
You need confidence in your brand.
Because people also buy into you as an individual, as a person. If you're not a techie, I feel like they look to you, and if you're shaking, if you're unsure, then why would I believe what you're saying or that you're going to execute this when you seem so unsure
in yourself and in your idea? Yeah.
And it kind of leads on to the next question that somebody asked. Somebody asked, Mathoni Njanja asked,
she tried.
Were you afraid of how you'll market yourself or get customers? And I feel that's something that business owners don't talk about. And I'm gonna be honest. When we first started, we were a little bit afraid that, hang on, we think this is great, but what other people think it's great too.
Yeah.
But we just did it anyway.
Yeah. I don't remember being scared about that. I remember us being really, really believing in the idea and having no doubt that it was going to work until like day one, when we opened, and then we were kind of looking around and thinking.
No, do you not remember? There was a time we were so overwhelmed. Do you remember we shut the truck door and we're like, everyone, just center yourself. Remember that?
Yeah, that happened a few times.
Yeah, because we couldn't. So I think fear is natural, but it's about like recognizing, okay, this is scary, but let's just take a moment,
just go for it,
and just do it.
Yeah, I feel like fear is a wasted emotion.
It's natural; it happens.
It's natural, but it doesn't get you anywhere.
Yeah.
You just need to have confidence in your idea, and go for it. If you've done, everything that you can, you've done all the marketing that you can. People know that your business is opening, and if something that's appealing to people, they will come. Yeah.
That was the last question.
Right, I think there was a couple more.
Oh, really?
Hold on a minute.
Where?
Yeah, no, these ones that came through before. Someone was asking how to come up with a menu. How to come up with a menu. I feel like, well, from our point of view, we started Mama Rocks as a passion project. We really love food, and we came up with a menu based on our love for burgers and the fact that we wanted to fuse it with African cuisines, and so we were inspired to come up with the menu. And I think that's how food businesses should be started.
And we intentionally wanted to disrupt the industry. We wanted to be deviants. We didn't want to have a regular cheeseburger. We wanted to call it crazy names on purpose to catch attention on purpose to make a statement.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you have a statement handbag, you're not just gonna have a black bag. It's gonna have crazy things on it. So we wanted to create a statement business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but I suppose there is the other approach where it's not really coming from passion as such, but from a business, satisfying a business need. I mean, we also thought about satisfying business needs, but some people come from it purely from that angle, and that's fine. So for example, they might do research and realize that fish and chips is the in thing now.
Yeah.
I want to set up a fish and chips restaurant. Then that's fine. Then your research should advise your menu. So, and I feel like when coming up with a menu, like I was saying before, it really helps to have items on the menu that share common ingredients, to avoid wastage. That's a big element of it.
And don't have a long menu.
Yeah,
Like,
keep
really
it short.
don't, because
And long menus are out.
it's
know?
so 1975.
It's so old school. People nowadays, the trend nowadays is to have, short menus, and also to have specialists.
Yeah, something you do really well. Like if you do biryani really well, then just do biryani.
Yeah.
And when I see a long menu, do you know what I think? I feel like everything's frozen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want everything's frozen. It's probably been there for 6 months in the freezer. I don't trust it.
Yeah, because it's not possible to keep that level of inventory
no.
Fresh. So I agree. So I think we answered that one. So how to manage stock control?
We're still trying to do that. I think it's a constant mathematical problem that everyone's trying to solve. I think we've got systems now to help us kind of manage what should be ordered and what shouldn't be ordered. It's just about what you said before about following trends,
exactly,
understanding your business, busy times, peak times, and not overstocking.
Knowing what's been sold, and what's been sold has to match what you have, whatever you had in stock at the beginning of the day should match the number of items that you've sold and what's left at the end of the day. So
and do it daily.
Yeah, you do it daily to keep track of it.
Don't be that business owner that buys 100 kgs of potato, leaves it for a week, and I sold. No, check.
Because you need to be able to monitor what you have in stock, and you need to be able to see, have I actually sold this, or is half of it going in the bin because someone's burnt it, or is half of it being stolen and taken home? You have to really be able to monitor these things. So a daily, I think that's the biggest thing I would say, a daily stock take really helps. Yeah. Right.
Was there another one?
How to maintain the quality of food?
Oh my gosh.
This is something we struggle with a little bit, because a big part of maintaining the quality and consistency of the food that we serve at Mama Rocks is down to our staff, the individual staff, and so we have to just make sure that we do all the training that we can, so everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing and how the food's supposed to be presented. And
take pictures of your menu items and say, this is what good looks like. So everybody knows. You can't just assume that people know what a good quality pasta or, I don't know, fish looks like. So just try and catalogue everything. And like we're saying, if you keep your menu items really tight and small, then you can monitor all of these things.
And maintaining the freshness of the items, that's all down to storage, correct storage of food items. So you just have processes in place where, for example, someone's checking every couple of hours, someone's checking all of the fridges to make sure that they're at the right temperature, and all of these little things really help to maintain the quality
and
of the food.
And before you even accept the food from your suppliers, check the quality of it first. And if it's not up to quality, send it back.
And again, you have processes before food is served to a customer. Someone should be checking it. So
it's not just the line cook, it's the kitchen supervisor or the waiter
over it before it goes to the customer, and hold them responsible. So if we get any complaints, we know who to come back to tell them off. I think so
not telling off, re-educate, let's say re-educate them.
Yes, okay. All right. Yeah,
That's it?
I think that's it. That's the end of our questions.
So, guys, I hope it's helped you make better decisions in terms of setting up your own business. Yeah, so that was a good one. We had quite a lot of feedback.
Yeah, a lot of questions.
Yeah, a lot of questions.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right, take care.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, happy businessing.
Yeah.